That's where I want to be. This doesn't work though. So through this mindfulness process, we begin to become aware of how we've detached from the feeling, the somatic sensation, right? And instead have gone into concept and gone into delusion about reality through disassociation from the actual sensation. This is one of those psychotherapeutic terms, disassociation, right? Mm-hmm. But it's really pretty simple. You know, disassociation is just not allowing ourselves to experience. Because why?
It hurts.
It hurts. It hurts to experience. At least some of the time. And the funny thing is, when we don't allow ourselves, it's not funny, it just seems to be true, that when we don't allow ourselves to experience the painful things, correspondingly we've cut ourselves off from the bliss, from the joy, because that has to be felt. And if we don't train ourselves and allow ourselves, I should say, to feel reality, then we're not going to feel the parts we want to, quote unquote, have, quote unquote. Yeah.
Do you think there's any truth in the people that have been in rigorous academic disciplines do not seem to experience present as well as those who haven't academic rigorous academic?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But well, one thing's for sure that you might be pointing at, if we train ourselves to think, and not feel at all, then this is going to be very difficult to do what we've just been talking about. So, and I was that way when I started out doing this practice, is very oriented towards the intellectual and thinking all the time about everything. It's just never satisfied me. It was never satisfied with my life when I did that. When I finally started allowing myself to feel, now does that mean you stop thinking? No. You're still thinking, but it's the thinking is being employed for what it's useful for. You know, if I need to fix something, I need to think about it. I don't need to think when I'm sitting or feeling. I can just feel. I can think about it afterwards. But feel when you're feeling and then think afterwards. But there is a karma when all we're doing is working with the thinking part of the mind. There's a karma to that. It's hard to let go of it. That's what koans are good for, though. It's training us to get out of the thinking. And some of the other modalities we employ, like the breath work, is also real valuable for getting out of the thinking and to be experiencing the breath, experiencing the way breath moves through the body. Any other questions or comments about this process?
It seems that most people give lip service to the idea of freedom. They all say yes, and want it, but getting one of the ideas you were talking about, if you're not willing to explore yourself, are you truly giving yourself those choices that you need to express freedom?
One aspect of freedom that we didn't cover, maybe we'll focus more on this next time, is freedom is scary as hell, by the way. I mean, if you're talking about having really free options at all times, you know, the ego has a lot of trouble dealing with that kind of freedom. Our ego generally likes structure, and it likes more, shall we say, predictability.
Another challenging aspect of it is there are some cases we don't want freedom.
We definitely don't want freedom.
Because if you're crossing the street and all of a sudden you're or see a car swerving towards you, you don't want to sit there and think about it, or what do I do? There are times when you really don't need that choice, you just need to react.
Right.
But we're so wired for that permeates all of our life. We just react and not.
So I think we're talking about two different things, and maybe we'll focus on that next time, is the difference between reacting from unconscious behavior patterns and acting from what we call Buddha mind or big mind or undifferentiated consciousness. Yes?
Would you say that sitting and feeling is what mindfulness is? Like feeling rather than thinking would be mindfulness?
That could be one way of looking at it. Yeah. I mean, mindfulness can include thought. But feeling has a thinking component often too. There's a kind of thought that happens in deep feeling, but it's not the same kind of thought as the kind of discursive thinking that's usually going on all the time when you try to meditate. Different qualities of thought.
On this